I really do, and that's a great question, because it's a time nobody can put this is exactly what's going to happen with those kind of deals, because it's not only physical, it's mental as well, when you go through a trauma situation like that. But I thought about halfway through spring practice, I saw that thing happen, that focus in his eye, and that kind of just saw Carlos this morning in the weight room, 6 o'clock. Watched him run a little bit since this summer. But I thought about halfway, he was whipping people and enjoying doing it, to where he had to get that mentality back a little bit. But I think he's very talented. He's everything you look for at that position. He got good length. He plays long. You can be long and not play that way, but he does. And so I felt like we started approaching that, and I think that's our whole focus in August, is to have him at the same spot he was when he started against Georgia, ahead of some guys that are on the NFL roster right now. So we certainly hope that for him and for this football team.
You said the mental aspect. What exactly do you guys do to help him there to get that back?
Well, at this level, and Coach Swinney's been great, and as y'all know, he's all about, it takes a family, and you have team psychologists, you have people that can work with them, things that I'm not trained to do. I'm here to be a father figure for him and be his coach and be that, but there's parts of that. I think there's a grieving process that when you lose a best friend, those kind of things, that everybody's different, and thankfully we have people that can handle all those things. And so from the strength coaches to the team psychologists to the Jeff Davises and James Trapps, and all those people have been involved in this process, and parents and high school coaches back home, and our staff, and Coach Swinney's been great in that. Hey, it takes time, because in his mind, I'm going to be back, I'm going to play that year. Well, that wasn't happening, and so it's fortunate that he was able to get the medical red shirt out of that and that kind of thing. But we have resources to be able to get them the help they need, and so both through the university and through the athletic department.
Getting on the football field is a good resource too, just to get out there and practice and play, right?
I think that's one of the best things that happened for him, was after all that, you get through all that, we actually worked him with the young guys like we normally would do a redshirt freshman or something at the bowl game, and put him back out there and let him play football in scrimmages. That was the first time that he had live snaps in a scrimmage where you go tackle somebody in that. And I think that was really good for him mentally, to cross that bridge that, hey, I can do this thing, so there's steps. So that was good, and then you have a break, and then you have spring practice, and then you had some really good players in front of you. And my old deal was I tried to encourage he and DJ and those guys, don't take a back seat to anybody. Go get one of them's job. Well, them other guys were like, no, they're not getting my job. So that makes everybody better. But now where you are, you're looking at 3 guys that play a lot of football. So the guys have all started some games. DJ started some games. Carlos has started some games. But I think all those were steps. And for him to be able to play behind those guys, and now he's got 2 years of eligibility left. And nothing's changed in my mind that he can be as good as he wants to be.
Pagano's a guy that a lot of people don't know about yet. You see it in practice, but a lot of the fans have not. Is he showing you what you need to see, really?
He is. He really is. And I thought Scott had a very productive spring. I left spring practice saying he would be the number 3 guy. My encouragement to Scott has been to learn both positions, nose and tackle, because I want to play the next best guy. I don't want to sit there and say we got to play a lesser guy because this guy only knows nose. Scott's smart enough to do that. And so, I left spring practice feeling that way about Scott. But he's had a really good summer. He looks great. He's moving good. So I think he's a guy that we count on heavily. And the burn in his eye and in his mind right now, and his coming by and visiting with me, is I'm going to get one of them guys' jobs. And I love that. I want that, and then I want them guys to say, no, you're not. So that makes us all better. But that's what I see out of Scott Pagano. He wants to be a starter, and hey, that's the thing about, we were talking earlier about camaraderie. They can get along, but hey, you need to compete every day and then allow us to go play the best guy and then the next best guy and then the next best guy. Trust us that we're going to do that.
Do you think that having his family here and not a 14 or however long hour plane flight away it is, well, Scott?
It's probably good for him. I think that was tough on his back and hips when you're a big guy to sit on a plane for 10 hours. I know I made that trip a couple times. Not a lot of fun, but I think that is good. You know, his dad's time in the military, obviously, always everybody appreciate that service, but he's getting toward the end of his career probably there, and for his mom to get back here and get settled and that kind of deal, because it just very rarely happens that somebody's stationed that long that he got to play his whole career, you know, out there and that kind of deal. So I would think that that's good, because I know he helped his mom a lot get moved and all that kind of deal, and he can see her on a regular basis. So I'm sure that is good.
How about Jabril Robinson?